morning, wit and wisdom of the sages for the ages. Back again with another conversation without the pen. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. It's Friday, free day for those of us who have employment. It's all good. You know, you get a little piece of the rock this day, a little cut of the pie. It's a Himalaya mountain and you're getting a molehill, but you gotta accept it because it's real. I was thinking about my boy Too Short. Sir, Too. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm not from Oakland. But ever since the Life is Too Short album, I've been a fan of this gentleman. Too Short, the Mac. I found out about Freaky Tales a little bit after that because back then, if the record wasn't released in your record store, there was no source. Word Up and Rap Masters weren't covering Too Short really, so you didn't know about him unless you knew someone who knew about him. Similar thing with Eazy-E and NWA at first, when it was the Eazy-E movement, and NWA and the Posse, the first album, all 87 stuff. Unless you knew somebody who knew about these guys, if you were in New York, New Jersey, Philly, East Coast, you didn't hear about them, you know. My best friend at the time, we on a block in Philly, and he just happens to have a copy of NWA and the Posse, and that's how I was ahead of the curve. But anyway, Too Short. I'm from the land of Schoolie D, okay? We think about sex and violence pretty hardcore, pretty, not no different from any other ghetto. I'm not saying that, but West Philadelphia is known as the buffet table of crime. It's not the hardest part of Philadelphia, but it's the part where the widest array of crime happens. Like the most random things can happen. You have prostitution, you have levels of drug sales and drug use, you have active crackheadism like it's still the 90s, you have burglary, you have anything you could, scamming, pickpocketing, three-card Molly, any, from the hardest, wildest, craziest shit to the most offbeat, like what the fuck shit. That's West Philly. So we get it as far as, talking that shit about women, as far as bitches, and, being raw. But when you heard Too Short do it, you said, oh shit, okay. It's not some hardcore gorilla nigga shit. This some straight pimp shit. Yeah, there's some gorilla shit in there, but Oakland is different. Oakland's traditional pimping shit. And that was what Too Short mastered and bought us successfully for years and years. And I've always loved it. I've always looked at hip-hop like the movies. Meaning that if it's a certain type of theme or subject, if you're into that, then hey, you're into that. And if you're not, you're not. But everything doesn't have to be clean. Everything doesn't have to be positive. Everything doesn't have to be uplifting. Because life isn't like that. There are more than one side to life, or there is more than one side to life, and there's more than one side to the music, because the music is reflective of people's experiences. You can be an imam, you can be a devil, you can be a cold-hearted gangster, you could be a gangster with a conscience, you could be a soft dude who never hurts no one, you could be a soft dude who will kill somebody if they're pushed. There's all different types of scenarios, so I've always had a love for Too Short because he explicitly details that game the way that it really is. He's the best pimp rapper I've ever heard, and I've heard quite a few. I think he's the father of it, and I think he's the best practitioner of it I've ever heard. Tremendously respect his style. He shows you that you can rhyme simple and still convey your message in an incredible, intelligent way. The boy is just bad, Sir, too. I think about him burning rubber on a bitch. Give her toilet paper so when she shits in her drawers in the street, when she sees me rolling luxury short side, the nigga was taking the East Coast music, flipping the records over, Daha, Daha, Friends, Houdini, and spitting the Oakland shit on it. About how niggas sold drugs, they call it capping, dissing each other, and picked up them women and pimped them women. I'm sorry, man. That shit is just tight. Too Short, he better not be underrated. He shouldn't be. If you combine his perfection at the way he delivers his subject matter, like he mastered his version of how to do that. No one does what he does better than what he does, in my opinion. He's the king of pimp rapping in that style. No one else could get away with rapping in that archaic style and make that shit sound good, except him. And you don't know I mean, if you're not a rapper yourself, it is extremely difficult to rap in that old school style and still keep it fresh. So Too Short is a straight up genius. And in the production, the love of the funk after he stopped using the East Coast flip records, the B-sides. He got basically funk bands to play his music years ahead of the curve, way before brand new heavies, way before the roots of obviously, you know what I mean? Like he was doing that in 85. So he was ahead of the curve with that too. The idea of the funky band propelling his pimp music. It was almost like a 70s revival. I guess that kind of gave him the impetus to think about doing it that way. And plus their love of Parliament over there. Parliament for them is what James Brown was for East Coast people growing up, like in Philly and New York and New Jersey. George Clinton was that for them. So they revere him and you hear it all in their music. Sir Too Short, baby. Here's the rap. I love that dude, man. I love his music. I love him as the way that he conveys himself as the old head in the game. Him and E40 are two of the smartest old heads in the game, man. And E40's from the Bay as well. Maybe I'll talk about Feezy at another time, but shout out to Two, man. Yo, Short, you ain't nothing but a side buster. Yo, I love that dude, son. Yo, peace.